Hi, welcome again to the Polished Lens YouTube channel. And just before you watch the video you're going to be watching today, which is our very first video for the year 2022, I wanted to wish you an exceptional year. I don't know what word you're holding on to this year, but I trust that it's going to be one that can help you to be more, to do more, and then have more for sure. And of course, like I always say, and I want you to believe because this is true, you can thrive in every season. God bless. Welcome everyone to the very first. So we should actually be giving a toast on this one because it's the very first Thriving Thursday session in the year 2022. So I'm excited to be here. FolaFayo, thank you for joining. I see you as well. And for those who will be joining me on Instagram, I'll be seeing you as you join. But for those that are on Facebook, Thrive Like Cedar, just give me an emoji, a thumbs up or something. Just say, I'm fine, I'm happy to be here or something. And then I know that you've joined us. FolaFayo Together, I see you on Instagram as well. Thank you for joining. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Let me put it that way. I've kind of missed being here in a way. But yes, let me say, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. It's the second week already in the year. Wow. Second week in January, second week in the year as well. And tell me, how has it been for you so far? So if you can hear me, Jumoke, I see you. Thank you for joining. Good to have you here. Yeah. So tell me, how has the year been for you so far? How has it been for you so far? Do you have a word that you came into the year with? Is there a word? Like for me, when I was trying to put together one of my initial greetings for the year, I was like, I wanted to hold on to a word. Now, this is different from the word you get when you're praying, for those of us that are people of faith, right? I'm talking about just picking out a word. There was a year where I used the word phenomenal, right? But for this year, the word that I'm kind of using a lot when I greet people, when we come to a new month, a new week, right? And of course, when we came into the year is the word exceptional. So for you, is there a word that you're kind of like saying to a lot of people when you greet them, Happy New Year, that may be this kind of year? What kind of year are you anticipating? For me, I'm trusting that it will be exceptional. Now, exceptional is relative, of course. Exceptional now depends on what you're looking out for. But for you, what word? Is there a word that you are holding on to? Tosin or Motosho, I see you on Instagram. Thank you for joining. So is there a word that you're holding on to? So for me and to the Thrive Like Cedar community on Facebook, the word that I will be impressing a lot when we have conversations on Thrive Like on Thriving Thursdays like this will be the word exceptional. I see FolaFayo is sharing with us that he's using the word fabulous. That's going to be a fabulous year. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. And for me, like I said, it's exceptional. So if there's a word that you are using in your space for the year, share it with us. Maybe somebody will be keen into it. Maybe you will find someone who is thinking like you, and then you can have a connection of some sort. All right. So the other question I want to ask, as we start today, you will say, FolaFayo has come again with our questions. Yes, I'll come again with my question. So the other question I would like to ask today is, how did the year start off for you? Was it like really fast? Because for some people, there are some things that they did not conclude in December. So they basically carried it over. So it was seamless. It was like they just got into the first day of 2022 and it was like everything going fast. So how was it for you? Was it very fast? Was it like, will you say, well, for me, I would say it was basically the regular motion, nothing, just back to routine? Or would you say it was slow? FolaFayo was slow. So how would you describe the start of the year for you? Jumoke, I see you say that it will be an excellent year. Yes, amen to that. Amen to that. Okay, so what was the way you would, or rather, let me put it this way. Would you say the year started as fast, regular, or really slow for you? When you started the year, how would you say the start was for you? So for me, like I said, when I got on board today, I was saying that I'm trying to, remember my settings, where I need to put my phone, how I need to, put the different tabs that are open up on my windows and all of that. It started kind of slow for me. So I don't know if Tosin, you're saying yours was regular. For me, it was slow. So if you are in my space, okay. Juwon is saying festivities felt like a 5 minutes time out and back to work. Ah, really? Wow. So it was like
seamless for you, Juwon. All right, for me, it was slow. It was really slow. It was so slow for me that I was quite concerned. And a number of times I did tell my husband, I think there's something going on here. I'm not comfortable. I don't know why it's slow for me. So I had expectations, coming into the year, because I took time to pray in December. I had gotten the promise and things like that. And, a lot of other ministries and churches had started putting out word and things like that. And I know the festivities, having family around, for those who traveled, you would have had that fun in the air and in the atmosphere. But for me, when we got into January 1st, I was like, it didn't feel like January 1st for me. It just didn't feel so new to me. I was like, I wanted it to feel new. I wanted to feel there was a new burst of energy, a new burst of vision. And I wasn't in that space. So it was like, it didn't look new for me. So if you were in that space like I was, please let me know. So I'm not alone. So FolaFayo saying it didn't look like there was any transition to a new year. Okay. Same for me. It was kind of slow. I was like, what? We had the fireworks on my side, where I was into the new year. We had the fireworks. We prayed together as a family. We actually even toasted with wine and things like that. But it wasn't really feeling new. So I was really quite concerned. And then like I said, kept talking to my husband about it. And then I started praying about it. And I was like, there has to be something. Something is going on here. I couldn't get it. And then I realized that this is something that not just happens in the beginning of a new year or a new month. For some of us, when we come into new seasons of our lives, we have that feeling of things are not kicking off as excitedly as I thought it would be. I'm not excited about the new. I can't feel the new. It's like as old. It feels like as old. And sometimes you actually feel like there's a dip in the way you feel. Maybe even I wouldn't want to use something negative like depressive or depression or something really sad, but you just don't feel an excitement. It's like you're on a calm. I kept telling my husband, there's a calm I'm feeling. I can't express this thing. There's a calm I'm feeling. I'm concerned. And if you're someone who knows me, you can hear me right now. I talk pretty fast, right? And so having something where it was a little bit slow, I was like, no, it's not supposed to be like this, right? And so I started praying about it, and I started taking some steps, and I started, looking into some ideas. And I can tell you that I got my groove back. I got my groove back. And if you read the post that I posted today, I said I've been there and I'm much better now. So I'm here to share with you ideas that you want to have in your mind whenever you come to a new season, a new year, a new month, a new face, a new space. It could even be that it's not a change of time, but a change of space for you. Maybe it's like you change organizations, and you were thinking that when you get into that new office, things are going to go spark for you, and then it's not feeling that way. So if you have a transition period and you're not feeling the excitement you're supposed to feel or you would like to feel, or you are not in your groove like you really used to be, these are the things that I would expect that you can start considering to do. And the first one is this. Now, this one sounds a little bit opposite to what we're trying to achieve, but I can tell you, you need it. The first one is enjoy the calm. Enjoy the calm. And I really mean this one because most of us, if you look at how the last years have been, especially with the pandemic, for some of us who had to do a lot of readjustments in our spaces, I can tell you that you might have been in moments where things were going fast, so fast for you that you needed a break. So now you took a break in December, most likely, or a lot of businesses shut down for the year. And so things were a little bit slow. There were a lot of festivities and all of that, like Juwon said earlier. And then now things are a little bit calm. You need to enjoy that calm, ride on that calm, because you know what? When the tide changes, you are going to be eager for that calm. And the thing is, when you are in that state of being calm, now there's a tendency for you, if you're not familiar with it, to be uncomfortable with it. So whenever we're in an unfamiliar terrain, we get to be uncomfortable, right? But the truth is, it is in that time that you want to make your strength renewed. You want to renew your strength, and you want to resharpen your vision. So anytime you're feeling like, oh, I don't really have that state of excitement, the energy, I'm not in my groove, things are not moving fast like I want, you want to also be deliberate to enjoy the calm. If you watched the session we had sometime last year on the law of the Sabbath, you will realize that this is something that many of us actually need to take that break in between what we're doing. So like I said, the very first thing you need to be aware of is, am I even enjoying the calm? Now, if you've enjoyed the calm and you're tired of the enjoyment, that's another thing. But if you've not even enjoyed it, and it's not something you have a lot of times, it's not something you key into a lot of times, my encouragement is you need to take time to enjoy the calm. bask in that calmness, bask in that difference, because it's an opportunity for you to have your strength renewed, your vision resharpened. So while you may be uncomfortable, you need to start asking yourself, what can I do despite the fact that my groove isn't back? So the first thing, again, enjoy the calm, okay? Now, the second thing is you need to review your goals. Review your goals, but I'm going to tell you something you need to do differently when you're reviewing your goals, because I know that when most of us, came into the new year, or rather just before we stepped into the new year, we had things that we're looking at. I think some of our audience on Facebook would not be seeing what's going on right now, because I can see that it's saying that there's a hitch there, but we'll continue on Instagram. We'll probably just give them a new video when we're done, because this has been recorded on Zoom anyway. Yeah, so I don't want to let us get distracted. But as we look into the second point, I was saying that you need to also review your goals. And I'm telling you what you need to do differently. It's not just about, you take up the goal and you say, oh, I want to start a podcast this year. Oh, I want to stop a habit that I'm not very proud of, or something that I feel like hasn't been beneficial for me, or oh, I want to finish a project that I started 3 years ago and I'm tired of saying I will conclude it this year. Or you want to modify something, or you want to get something. Maybe you want to change your car, or you want to move houses, or you want to buy a new house or something like that. The truth is, you had your reason for having those goals listed as things that you want to achieve in the year. However, have you actually taken time to think about how it will be when you have accomplished that goal? So when you are trying to walk your groove back, when you go back to your goal list, you want to start to envision concluding on that goal. That's what you're going to do differently. So it's not just for you to take the list and say, oh, January, I want to do this. February, I want to do this. Oh, I want to start this. I want to modify this. I want to stop this. It's not just about that. When you take each goal, you want to simmer. You want to think deep and say, how would it be when I finish writing that book? I can imagine different platforms inviting me to talk about my book. I can imagine having, a lot of requests for the books to be delivered to different spaces. I can imagine credit alerts coming in. You need to start thinking about the end of the goal being achieved. And I can tell you, when you start thinking about your goal as being completed, forget about the how for now. Remember, we're still talking about getting your groove back, okay? So what you want to do with getting your groove back is keying back into emotions that can drive your actions. Because if you've been long enough with us on Thriving Thursdays, you would have heard this model from me, that what you think drives what you feel, and what you feel drives what you do. So what you're trying to do when you're getting your groove back is getting into a place where you feel excited enough to take the actions or to do the connections that are required for you to get back into your zone. And getting that feeling back is also very possible when you are starting to see yourself conclude a goal or achieve something. So you're saying you want to buy a new car this year, you want to replace your car or something like that. And you're like, okay, maybe you want to get a BMW, or you want to get the new CRV model or something. I mean, I'm not so much into cars, so I probably won't be giving you guys ideas tonight on that. But let's just say you have an idea of the kind of car you want to get. You need to start thinking of yourself going to that car shop, paying for the car in full, not probably getting it on a loan, driving that car out of the store or the shop with, the license plate not yet done, driving it home and having that. You need to have that understanding come to you of how it will be when you conclude on that goal. So when you review your goals, if you take time to do it, I tell you, over time, you will get into that zone of, oh, wow, I can't wait to do what is necessary for me to be able to achieve that goal. So envision the end or the outcome of your goal being achieved. All right. Now, the third thing is for you to also position in the right and enabling environment. Position in the right and enabling environment. Okay, so the concept that I push out a lot is thriving like cedar. And if you think about it, in the agricultural space, we all know that certain plants thrive most in certain conditions, right? And you are like that as well. The reason why you're probably not in that zone where you are, as creative or as excited as you should be is because you've stepped out of the zone you should be in, where you can actually have that groove on. And two things actually affect that. One will be the people that you surround yourself with. And the social media space is quite a contagious space, right? And so you need to start asking yourself, who are the people you're following? Are they people that are speaking into your dreams? Are they people that are speaking into your goals? Are they people that are speaking into the future that you have for yourself? Are there people that leave you energized, that make you feel like there's been an addition and multiplication, or some sort of increase to you? You want to ensure that that's the experience you're having. So my encouragement is, as you build that groove space back, you want to start auditing the space, people's space that you've put yourself in. Because if you're following people who are saying things or sharing things on social media platform, it could even be WhatsApp status, you'll be surprised. Something as, in fact, for a long time, I didn't even used to consider WhatsApp as a social media place, until I started realizing that, do you know that the status that people share, they're as good as, being on Facebook, being on Instagram, being on TikTok and all of that. Yes, you may say it's a communication space, but as long as people are sharing what they're thinking, what they're learning, what they're experiencing, it's social media as far as I'm concerned, right? Because you're taking in what others are taking in. So my encouragement is, you need to start doing an audit. But the audit is not just for you to stop anything toxic. It's now for you to be intentional to get into the space that will be contagious for you. So you want to be deliberate to have conversations. You want to be deliberate to follow people. You want to be deliberate to look into what people who are already on fire are doing. Because there's no way you can be around someone that is on fire and it doesn't leave you chat to say, oh, wow, I also thought about that. Maybe you were thinking, oh, I wanted to bake a cake for my family for the first time. Maybe first week of January, I want to do that. Or no, we're already done with the first and second week. So let's say third week of January, you're planning to bake a cake. And then you had a friend who just said, you know what? I just went to look for pancake recipe, something different from the way I used to make it. And I made it. The person just leaves a form of contagious possibility there for you. And what happens? You connect into it. So one way to get your groove back is to watch this people's space. And like I said, it's not just about cutting off from anyone that could be toxic or draw you back on getting that groove. It's also about being intentional to look for anyone that would also give you that spark back. I know I was telling my husband recently, I have a friend, and we talk, now and then, and she was telling me something she did last. I mean, I know about this project that she did last year, but she mentioned it in one of our conversations recently. And I was telling my husband, I think I'm going to go and do that thing again, because there was a way she talked about it and she was sharing the outcomes of that project. And I was like, I know about this project and I know I've been there before. And then it excited me to take, my own steps. So you want to watch your people's space. Like I said, it's not just about cutting off. It's about being intentional to connect with anything that will make that groove be restored back to you. Right now, I was talking to my daughter earlier today while I was preparing for this session, and I was asking her, because my daughter is into music and poetry and all that, and I was telling her that when someone kind of loses their groove and they're trying to get it back, what kind of thing do you think that person would need? And she was like, well, I would say maybe the person needs to get into the right space. And that was why I realized that it's not just about the people space, but also the physical space. So for you, that there are places in your house or there are cities in this world that give you excitement. So you may say, oh, FolaFayo, traveling right now is difficult. How am I going to be able to travel? Okay, if you're not able to travel, maybe you should go and watch a movie. Maybe you should go online and look for pictures about that city and imagine yourself being there. But you need to physically position yourself in that environment that will restore that place for you. So if you're someone who likes music or you like calm, look for that. Be intentional to look for that physical space that can also help you get it back. So like I said, an enabling space. It could be a people space and it could be a physical space that can help you to achieve the groove restoration that you want. Okay. Now, the fourth one is the promise. The promise. This is particularly for those who are people of faith. So when you came into the year, maybe, I don't know what kind of word you normally go into the year with. Maybe you're someone who leans onto what your pastor or your department head shares with you guys. Or if you're someone who's married, maybe it's something your spouse shares with you that you hold on to for the year. I don't know. Or maybe it's a personal word that you get from God. But whichever word you get from God and whichever word it was for the year, this is a time for you to immerse in it. Because what happens with a lot of us is that we get those promises, we write them down, and until we go back to church on a Sunday, we don't revisit the promise. We don't even look up for messages, related books on that thing. When you're trying to get your groove back, if you're someone who has a promise or you have a word for the year, you need to immerse in that promise. So what I did late last year, and interestingly enough, I did it even before the new year, where I started feeling the calm, was that every single day, instead of me reading other books of the Bible, that particular promise that I got, it was like a whole chapter. I was reading it every day. That's all I was reading. I could read Message version today. I'll read NIV tomorrow, read Amplified, read Good News, I wanted to see different particular words that, resonated with me in that chapter. I wanted to have the understanding of, okay, they use the word maybe start here. Here, they use the word kickoff. Here, they use the word commence. And I wanted to immerse in that understanding. I tell you, when you immerse in the promise, you will get that groove back. What's happening a lot of time is you're not having the closeness to the source of your strength as you should be. So most times when we feel like we're in a slow or in a low place, so things are going a bit slow, or we're in a low place, our energy, our tank is a little bit low. So you need that tank refilled. And one way to get the tank refilled is through his word. And so if you have a promise already, my encouragement is this: immerse yourself in that word. You need to declare that word. So as you're reading it, you're declaring it. As you're reading, you're declaring. So if you're a person of faith, or if you're someone who just had a promise, maybe someone just came to you and told you, I believe God is saying he's going to do this with you this year. However way the word came to you, you need to immerse yourself in the word. All right. Now the fifth, the final point for tonight, and definitely not the least, all right, is this: take little steps. Take little steps. I know that you may say, oh, FolaFayo, this sounds so cliche. What are you talking about? Take little steps. What does that do? It does a lot. It does a lot. So let's say you had said, all right, that you have on your goal, writing a book. All right. Now, of course, when you want to go on a project that seems big, because sometimes some of us, we have our goals written, but we did not write the plan around the goals down. We just wrote, I would like to get a car. I would like to start a podcast. I would like to write a book. I would like to, make 5 new key friends in the year and all of that. You just have that, but you don't have the plans. Now, what you need to do in taking little steps is to ask yourself, what's the first simple step I could take? So let's say you wanted to start masters later on in the year, or your plan is to go for an MBA later in the year or January next year, or to relocate or something, just for education and all that. And then if I asked you, if you're in a session with me, because I do that when I work with people, and I'm asking you questions, I'll probably ask you things like, okay, what school do you have in mind? So right now you only wrote on your goals book, I want to go for an MBA. You don't know what kind of MBA. You don't know the school. You don't know the country. You don't know the options. You don't know the sponsorship aids. You don't even know anybody that went to that school. Those are the things you could start with, So you could tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to go on LinkedIn and look for MBA. Maybe you're planning to go to the Netherlands. Maybe you're planning to go to Canada. Maybe you're planning to go to Asia. I don't know what part of the world you want to go to for your MBA, but wherever you want to go to, you need to start telling yourself, you know what, let me even shortlist the schools that I would like to go to. And then when you start to look online, talk to people about those options, I tell you, it restores an excitement to you. You will get that groove back. The reason why sometimes we find it hard to connect back to that state of creativity and groove that we require in a new season is because the goal already looks daunting. And we're like, this is so big, I don't even know where to start. So you're so clouded by the possibility of starting or how you're going to go about it. You're thinking about navigating. So the how looks so tough, challenging, and then you're like, I don't know. So because you are in a place of, I don't know, right? And there's no illumination, there's a sense of, I can't. You know how it is when you're in a dark space, especially a place that you're not familiar with. If it's a place that you're familiar with, the tendency for you to be able to say, okay, the chair is here, the table is here. If I move just a bit like this, I should be able to touch the console and all of that. When you're in a new space and the place is dark, you are afraid to move. And that's what happens when you don't even know the little steps you can take to start on a goal. So my encouragement is this: take little steps on those things. I know that was exactly what happened to me that actually helped me. So I took my goal book earlier in the year when I was feeling that calm, and I started revisiting the goal, and I started breaking it down to even specifics like, okay, I want to do this with my kids this year, but when do I want to do it? Oh, I said I will have a hangout with one of my kids at a particular time. Oh, the time is already, going to elapse and all of that. Why don't I call the child and tell the child? But when I started thinking through that, I started feeling excited again. So once again, it is regular for you to have a feeling of, a slow tide, a low tide, a weak tide when you come into new. It's normal, right? But first of all, don't panic. Second is to ask yourself, have you enjoyed the calm enough to be ready for the energy, the speed, and the force that you're going to require to go into what you want? And then when you're clear on that, then you now start taking all the other steps I've shared with us today. You now start thinking about the end result of those goals being achieved, getting into the enabling space, immersing yourself in the promise, and of course, taking the little steps. But I can tell you, that groove is coming back. And when it comes back, you're going to be seeking your Sabbath. You're going to be seeking your Sabbath. So yes, start by enjoying the calm and then take those little steps in getting your groove back. I don't know if anyone would probably want to drop for us anything they do differently to get their groove back that I didn't mention. While we wait for that, just before we run off for tonight, I'm excited. You see, my groove is back. My groove is back. I'm excited to share with you the news that we've now opened registration for the very first season of our mastermind groups for the year. Now, this mastermind group, I would tell you I will tell you this about every mastermind group we actually have, right? And that is the fact that it is going to be an amazing transformational session. It will be. I tell you that. I promise you that. So in a few days, we're going to be sharing with you some of the feedback from those that were part of the one we had last year. Now, this mastermind group is just 3 sessions and is running for 3 weeks, all right? And we have 3 seats that are going to be sponsored. So if you sign up quickly and you qualify, you may say, FolaFayo, what does the word qualify actually mean? Well, there are some things we'll be looking out for to let us know if you qualify. But one of the things is that you're one of the first to sign up. So my encouragement is, if you're looking out for how to start off for the year, my encouragement is please look out for thepolishedlens.com. Click on the image there that will take you to the landing page, or we're going to drop the landing page link on Instagram and on Facebook for you to join. 3 sessions, 3 weeks. We're going to be digging deep into how to reset for results, because I realized that many times when we come into the new, just like this new year, we've talked about, getting your groove back. What happens with a lot of us is that we just, I want to do something new. I want to modify. I want to start. I want to stop. And then you start for a bit, but along the line, you stop. And then in the middle of the year, you start again. And then along the line, you stop again. And then close to the end of the year, you're like, before the year ends, I want to, get back into the things I want. And then you stop again. That's what happens to a lot of us. But on this mastermind group, you're going to realize what exactly is going on. You're going to find out what exactly is going on. We're going to be going into concepts that help you to create new beginnings, because I think that ultimately we all want to create a new beginning whenever we come into a new season or whenever we transition. All right. So my encouragement is this: look out for the landing page link. We're going to be sharing it. You want to be part of it. So 3 sessions, 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks. We're going to be having, I don't know if you've ever been on a mastermind group before, but a mastermind group is an incredible way to learn, because it's not FolaFayo bringing all her wisdom. It's everybody bringing their wisdom and sharing about how to reset for results. So the theme is reset for results. You want to look out for the information on this, and you definitely want to sign up. Now, if you have a friend in your space that you've been encouraging for years, you need to commit to change. I know you can do much more. That person needs to be on this mastermind group. Now, let me just say this, just before I round off tonight. Usually our mastermind groups have limited seats. We don't even take more than 9-10 people. Very, very limited seats, because it's a small group and it's an intimate setting. And we want the conversations to be deep, transformational, and we want people to be vulnerable. So you can imagine how deep we go, right? But we're going to be having an amazing time, and we're going to be learning together, growing together. But I tell you, for everyone who went through that last year, their approach to creating new things in their lives changed, because they understood how it is done. So you want to look out for it. Registration closes 30th of January. We're starting in February, and it's going to be a blast. Now, if you have any questions around that, you can drop the question in my Instagram DM. And if you feel like you definitely want to be the person that will get that sponsored seat, please just send me a DM, and I will be sure to send you the link that, just gets you on board immediately. But I look forward to working with those that will be on this particular mastermind group. It's the very first mastermind group of the year. It's focused on establishing roots to help you to thrive like cedar, roots that will help you to position and win as you go on in the year. I can tell you it is transformational. I know we've run it before, and it's very, very, likened to the other ones we run in the year. And it will leave you changed. I tell you, I'm so excited. You can even see it on my face that it's going to be an amazing time together, but you want to look out for it. So send me a DM if you want to be part of this mastermind group, and I'll tell you what you require to qualify. Just 3 seats are sponsored. And I look forward to having you. So once again, welcome to an exceptional new year. My prayer for you is that it will indeed be exceptional. I look forward to working with you to indeed thrive more in your space or in any transition you might go through this year. And I'm happy to have you join the very first session of Thriving Thursday. We're going to be putting this particular session on our YouTube channel. And if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, this is the time for me to tell you to like, subscribe, and help us to reach more people so that a lot of more people in our spaces, in our lives, connected to us, our friends, family, can also thrive like Cedar in their spaces. Thank you for joining. I look forward to getting in touch with you and working with you more. God bless you, and bye-bye.